Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Gamers Explained. Today I'm going to deeply explain Far Cry 4. So let's start.
In this game, a person who even the best mystery to himself in the mind of countless players simple anti-sense until a player have the country, and also past the game good people actually the official villain, is unwilling to give up to tell you the most charming anti-sense in history. The story takes place in the fictional country of the Himalayas, Kyrat. The protagonist, Ajia, came from the United States to Kyrat to follow her mother's will. She is going to place her mother's ashes in a place called Laxmana, but this scenery is enough to wash away the country's spirit. But she is going through the battle between the Golden Road and the King Puginman. This leads to Ajia unable to enter as a regular tourist. She can only use the help of the tour guide to walk the right path. The tour guide reassures Ajia he is in the local area, which is more crowded than the Huanglu. When they are in the car, they are being checked by the Huang family army. But the soldiers are in a state of emergency and unwilling to cooperate. At this time, the two extreme members in the car are holding a lucky heart. The soldiers ran away. The soldiers took AK and started a lively sweep. The scene was a mess. Even the sister who was eaten by the car was almost hit in the head. But before the sister reacted, the helicopter stopped by the side. Facing the soldiers' guns, the sister could only lie on the ground with the guide in a mess. The one, now, shoot the boss. I'm very particular with my words. Stop, shoot, stop, shoot. Do those words sound the same? They got out of control. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say? They got out of control. How'd they get out of control? I hate when things get out of control. It seems that the wind is strong and the truth is that the love is clear. In fact, Puginman knew that Ajia was in this car, so he ordered to intercept the bus, but when he arrived, he thought that the man had killed Ajia, which was the first time he had used a pen to fire the construction worker. But the god Puginman looked at the deposit and found that Ajia was not dead, and the eye became clear, although Puginman has been trying to show his passion from the perspective of Ajia. Puginman is a tyrant who kills people all the time. Then Ajia was blinded by the eyes when he opened his eyes again and was still in a luxurious palace. We are so sad about Ajia. It turns out that Puginman and Ajia's mother had a relationship, and Ajia's mother was A. The extreme signal is well played, and the half is knocked out. The dry name is not angry. He is ready to interrogate the guide. Before he leaves, he is kind of a stand here and don't move. He went to buy a few fried crab feet and came back. As expected, half an army and half a tiger, I saw the miserable report of the dry name. Ajia didn't want to stay at all, so he took the ashes of his mother and ran away to the palace immediately after the interrogation. Ajia found that the guide was receiving the heart of the dry name. The treasure has been restored. And this treasure, during the interrogation, did not forget to make his daughter happy on the phone. Ajia turned around and was about to leave, but happened to run into the leader of the extreme group, Sabal. The father of Ajia, Mohan, is the leader of the Golden Road of the extreme group. The purpose of the founders came here to rescue Ajia. Ajia saw that these people were so good, so he followed Saber to the extreme. After all, Ajia grew up in a country where guns were used every day. So he took the gun and he immediately released the seal Ajia, and Saber soon occupied the land of the oil, and the soldiers who came to chase the front to be put in the gold. And the battle also triggered a big snowstorm. When Ajia woke up again, Saber saved his own Saber again. Under the leadership of Saber, Ajia came to the extreme hometown of the Golden Road and met another extreme leader, Amita. Welcome to Ajay, just because he is a tourist. After he learned that Ajay wanted to go to Laxmana, he followed his mother's ancient meeting and said that this place was very likely in the northern region controlled by the Hogan people, and if you want to go there, you have to help the extremists win the civil war. In order to fulfill his mother's wish, Ajay can only start working for the Golden Road. After all, Ajay has some skills. He simply has a light bow and a light moon and easily comes to the top of the tower of countless extremists. The Royal Army was used to promote the destruction of the broadcast, and the extremists were unable to make a fire once Ajay finds out that he will be a human-shaped stalker from the moment and clean up one by one for the extremists. Ajay is the son of the founder of the Golden Road, Mohan. His family also made the extreme party to rise in the market. Even the other extreme leader, Amita, who was not able to see Ajay before, also temporarily changed his attitude towards Ajay because of his power. He also saw that Ajay was taken away by the Golden Road, and Boogerman naturally would not give up. So he sent the royal army to the extreme old house of the Golden Road and started military action. Fortunately, Ajia reacted quickly and immediately returned to the village. The royal army, who had come to besiege the extremists, did not even stop. Even in a Red Sea, a girl named Bajua was rescued. And this Bajua is the next goddaughter of the Canary Islands, which is the existence of a hook with the local belief of Canary Islands. Once she becomes a goddaughter, who is the real leader of the Golden Road, but now, Sabal and Amita, who are in charge of the power, have two completely different ideas. Sabal respects tradition very much and believes that the way of the ancestors is irreversible as long as she is chosen by the goddess and becomes the leader. She will marry the goddess and prohibit women from participating in politics and continue the religious tradition of the Kalab. Amita insists on the right of women. She doesn't want to see the little girls. 8 claws being treated like a product. If Amita becomes the leader, she will abolish all traditions and beliefs and fight for freedom and equality for women. So she always does things without any means. Both want to drag Ajay into the Golden Road. Even AJ's parents say, "We'll be happy because Ajay saved Kyrat from Pugamin." Speaking of this, Ajay has been a very extreme person. Soon after, Sabra and Amita had a conflict because of two opposite extreme ideas, because Pugamin sent people to attack the extreme Shadowland. Sabra thought that the people's lives were in danger and he had to send people to rescue them, but Amita strongly opposed. After all, they are going through a war. Collecting intelligence is the most important thing, and the two options fell on Ajay's Mohan's son. Ajay's choice is very important. Ajay still chose to save people between saving people and intelligence. Amita, this woman, was very fast in changing her face. She helped you and gave you a heart-wrenching. The Saber wants to destroy the factory, but Amita wants to use the factory as an opportunity to exchange for the resources they need. Facing this kind of division, Ajay chose the long door to smoke without hesitation from the sky. Ajay, who went down from the sky. All the royal army of the assistant were punished. A large piece of heavy tea was all lit up with a lot of smoke, and the tea factory was burned down. Ajay also played with it without any hesitation. After the incident, Ajay and Bajua attended the funeral of the villagers' fire-painted relatives. Ajay said from Bajua's mouth that his father Mohan was not killed in the war, but was murdered at home. Now the area where Ajay's home is located has been controlled by the other cadet No, who has been under the control of the Reds. Ajay doesn't care if it's dangerous because the training has already increased his cultivation. Ordinary people don't care about him. But when he came to the house, he found 2 strangers with extreme flour on their backs. He took over his own house and took the 2 of them back to pick up the head of the government. He hurried up to the house and ran to the house. Ajay wanted to talk to the 2 of them, but the other party gave him a shot without Ajay's protection. With the effect of the drug, Ajay quickly became unconscious and passed out. When he woke up again, he found himself in a gas station. He came to the station without a care in the world under the drag of a woman. And this woman is the Reds, the cadres under the name of the, and he dressed up as a, makes her feel angry and ironic until she remembers the moment when she called. She realized that she would never see her daughter again. After returning to the extreme, Sabra and Amita had another dispute. One blamed the other for being an extreme criminal with no means of punishment. Another blamed the other for being a child who had to get old. But both of them are the same. They are on the same front in how to deal with Noah. Even though Noah was forced to serve Pagami, both of them still had to get rid of this poor man. As long as they can overthrow Pagami, control Kyrat and the lives of others, in Sabra and Amita's view, it might not be that important. Ajay has no choice now. He can only go to the stadium again. Noah's tragic experience made Ajay unable to get rid of the Banshee. He can only tell Noah about the news of his family's death. After finding out the truth, Noel lost his courage to live and decided to end his life. Pagami lost Barrow in war, which means that the extremists have taken the control of the south of Kalab and have the right to fight against Pagami's capital. And at this time, a mystery man named Willis contacted Aya. His life story with Aya is well known. If Aya wants to know about the important information about his parents, he went to the airport to meet them. After seeing Willis, Aya learned that the other party was a CIA agent. As for the important information that Aya wanted, it was behind Willis, a plane that was about to take off. It's too late to complain that Willis didn't say Aya rushed to the plane to run at a speed that would refresh the human short run record. He jumped on the plane as soon as it took off. Although the life of Ajay risked driving to life danger got important information, but he found that there is no clue about his parents on it. Understand, that he was played Ajia the body flashback to the airport immediately opened the gate of the airport to question the virus and the construction of Ajia's strength after the virus also came out of his parents' past. It turns out that Ajia's mother is the same as the 8 claws of the same as the goddess of Kailash. As for Ajia's father, Mohan, after the creation of the Golden Road in order to fight against the common people, he sent Ajia's mother to monitor the common people because the goddess married the extreme leader was to follow the tradition. So the two of them didn't have feelings. So Ajia's mother fell into the river of love smoothly with the common people. So Mohan had to clear the door to escape the preeminence pursuit. Mother took Ajay away to the United States. This explains why Pugaman wanted to expel Ajay as a descendant, as well as Pugaman. He was the crown prince of the Hong Kong gang for many years, before he brought his bride Yuma to Kyrat, and overthrew the Kyrat royal family. He then took the throne here, and Willis's purpose for this trip was to overthrow Pugaman. If Ajay wants to know more about the truth, he has to ask Pugaman's bride Yuma at this time. Yuma is responsible for managing the northern area for Pugaman, but it is not easy to find the other side, so Ajay can only be in the clue provided by Willis. When Ajay wakes up again, he finds that he has long been betrayed by Willis to Pagami. Pagami is still the smile of the late father. Even if Ajay helped the group of people to take him down, Pagami still doesn't get angry. He just let Ajay stay in this dark prison, and he was deeply in love with Yuma. Yuma's attitude is very strange. Even if it's Pagami, he doesn't give him face. Let the other person see people, and get out of here before leaving. This late father is still asking his subordinates to let Ajay live. But when Pagami left, the soldiers in charge of guarding gave Ajay a shot. When Ajay opened his eyes again, he was already in a hallucination. In the beginning, they have been following Pagami. Yuma is very fond of Pagami's young madness. But since Pagami came to karate and fell in love with Aji's mother, this man began to like to eat beef after Aji's mother left. He lost his wildness and took karate as a fun playground for himself. This behavior made Yuma hate Aji's mother and led him completely disappointed in Pagami with the idea of wanting to self-reliance, with the illusion of gradually retreating. The military has a dark prison, naturally cannot roll Aji. He quickly used the attack to move steadily down the hill, and then used a flying knife to kill the whole armed defense. A blood source appeared in the distance when he woke up again. He found that he was saved by Sabr since the south had fallen into the hands of the Yellows. Then they will lead the extremists to continue pushing to the north. There is only one way to go, that is the National Wang Bridge, controlled by the Royal Army. Because the bridge is heavily guarded, the gate is even C4. Don't want to blow up at the critical moment. Ajay needs to help. Ajay took a truck with a chemical drug and drove the truck into the National Wang Bridge. After the chemical drug was blown up, the gate was blown up 4 times. Ajay was also killed in the enemy's stronghold as the soldiers were laughing. The sound of the sirens gradually. The extremists were also able to control the bridge without a single soldier because the North Gate opened. The Golden Road was also able to get in touch with the extremists in the north. But when the two sisters went to meet with each other, Pugaman came to the village of the hidden extremists. He didn't have to say that the soldiers who arranged the soldiers killed innocent villagers. The sister who took this scene to the end, I can't help but be angry anymore. Even Pugaman hasn't gone far, just fly up a precise grenade the jeep that destroyed the Pugaman car. But I haven't waited for the sister to be happy. The sound of Pugaman had appeared again in the infinite years. It turns out that he only lost one. It's just a substitute. After the incident, Pugaman also broadcast on TV. Tian said that everything is fine now and he wants to take the life of his Pagami by the extreme party, and he has to step over Yuma's body. He even took the initiative to tell Yuma's address. It seems that Pagami already knew that Yuma wanted to betray himself, so his purpose of live broadcast was only to kill people for the extreme party. As long as they can get rid of Pagami's left-hand side. Even if it's a trap, they're willing to try it because it's Ajay who's not going to go, and Ajay soon arrived at the mine where Yuma was, and Ajay, who was so careless, was hit by Yuma's secret medicine, and in the illusion Ajay saw the so-called the innocent villagers killed, and Amita was just as good as him, and he was good at conservative and innovative. They both fought for the position of leader, and they were on their way to achieve their ideas when Yuma reappeared in the illusion. He was still in the same state of being, but this time Ajay had to make Yuma understand who was the owner of his body, both human and life. As Ajay destroyed all the enemies in the illusion, his consciousness gradually regained its wake. And the real Yuma was also laughed at by Ajay losing the right hand north of the Yuma. The Chinese name has also become the flesh of any extreme fan of Zygue. To know the first to enter the official as the king, the 8 feet tell Ajay as long as Amita and Samal can take down the family first. Who can become the real leader of the Galandu Temple? Now Ajia is again facing the choice of helping Saba to take down the temple. He will complete the 8 claws in the temple to become a goddess of the ceremony, from which to take the 8 claws to the traditional culture of the Kyrat to help Amita. He will completely destroy the temple to abolish the traditional culture. Now it doesn't matter who Ajia chooses, but it's another ungrateful name. So he just chooses to help Saba to go to the Galandu temple to defend the royal army in the fire of Ajia's secret battle. The royal army wanted to get closer and became a social network. That's how Saba won this power struggle and completed the goddess ceremony for the 8 claws. But the power of the power is enough to make people lose themselves, let alone Saba, and realize that he is the god of victory in the future. He no longer treats Aji with any doubt, and what he's going to do next is naturally get rid of the competition opponent. So Saba's command is not to let Aji get rid of Amita the previous false. Without the rest of the oil, the extremists also discovered the extreme total attack on the construction site of the Pugenming. Ajia carried a long-standing rocket barrel and was forced to kill inside the construction site. It is said that the royal army fought hard to resist and eventually could not withstand the point of Ajia's turn and turn again. Under the terrible fire, the golden statue of Pugenming was broken and his kingdom was destroyed. Even so, Pugenming was still not angry, but invited Ajia to go to the palace to have dinner again. Ajia was born again and arrived at the royal palace. When he pushed the door open, Pugenming was still in love. When he comes back, he will take Ajia to complete his mother's wish and then give her the throne to Ajia, and Ajia just can't hear it. It seems that there must be a problem with the fried crab foot. There is no complaint about this. So he gave Ajia another chance. Or he would have shot himself now, or he would have accompanied Ajia to complete his mother's wish. After all, Pugenming was no longer a threat, and Ajia was lucky enough to put down the gun, and then Pugenming tells the truth, and everything from Ajia's father Mohan will send Ajia's mother to Pugenming's side to say that with the original. But the ex-husband Mohan couldn't stand the law. In order to avenge Ajia's mother, he killed their daughter. To know the mother is the best, Ajia's mother helped Pugenming to kill the ex-husband Mohan and avenge her daughter. After that, he took Ajia to the United States. Pugenming took Ajia to a sacred place. At the moment of the sacred place, Ajia was in a state of confusion. The name of the mother, Lakshmana, is not a name, but the name of his sister. The real wish of the mother is to be buried with her daughter. All the way, Ajia finally understands that Pugenming, who is considered a tyrant, has been taking the death of his daughter as an excuse to go back. And Ajay himself used the excuse of using his mother's ashes to do the same in Kailash's case. He hopes to become a good man, but enjoys the feeling of killing until he destroys the army that Mishu left for himself and pulls himself down to the throne at the end of the story. Ajay finally completes his mother's last wish and puts his ashes next to his sister, Lakshmana. When Ajay walks out of the temple, Mishu also gives him the last warning. In the history of art, they actually paid off their sister's heart. If the sister had listened to the art would really come back and also bring the sister to fulfill the mother's wish.